Hello, this is Michael from Sound Pressure Labs. What we've done here today is we've actually corrected this entire matrix. And it has taken us weeks and weeks and weeks of updating, firmware updates, software updates. It's taking me weeks and weeks to update this Neve. We've updated the preamps. We've updated the in-ear. And finally, after 4 weeks of updates, 4 weeks of updates, we've finally come to the ability to actually use this studio. This studio was glitching, it was popping, it was dragging. And it's glitching and popping and dragging some more. So we've had to reroute the entire matrix, reassign the entire busing system. We've had to redo the entire project from the ground up on the software. Reconfigure Dadman. Reconfigure the engine. Oh my god. Is this really the solutions to the future of music? This is the most excruciating experience that I've ever had as a technician in 30 years as an engineer. I have never walked into a studio and had so many problems from a brand new out of the box studio. AVID, you guys are insane. Your software is obese. Pro Tools has sucked since 1996. Are you ever going to make it better and not need 128 gigs of RAM and still crash the core? What is wrong with this system? I can't understand for a second why anybody would buy a Pro Tools system to mix Atmos. Sound Pressure Labs has these solutions. We've already made 3 albums in the time that it's taken just to fix this studio. It is a horrible experience. Look at this nasty patch bay. This patch bay is a horrible layout. Also, Boston Pro Sound. Why are you guys so horrible at what you do? I heard you're building a studio for Snoop Dogg. So if Snoop Dogg gets this video, please let him know that I can fix the thing that you installed. And can you please call me first from now on? Because Sound Pressure Labs builds custom configurations and sets up studios for people who really, really need to use them, not just want them to look good. So again, 4 weeks of updates, firmware, replacement of cables, reallocation. The Elgato finally worked today. We got another update for the Elgato. We're going to update the mom. So let me think. 1, 2, 3 updates just on the console, 4 with the Elgato, 5 with mom. We're going to update Pro Tools. That was 6. We upgraded Logic. That was 7. We updated... What else did we update? Oh, my goodness. The Hearback system, we updated every single firmware on every single device. We updated every single driver and package inside the unit. We installed the bootloader. We upgraded it. The Neve was 6 versions behind current. These systems are ridiculously obese. And let me tell you, the very first Sound Pressure Lab system that I had built from day one is still working without an update. I have not put those computers online. I have not updated any of the software. I have done nothing to any of the current versions that I have built 10 years ago for the R&D models because I leave these systems running. The first computers that were built in the 60s are still in the basement of Stanford and still in the basement of MIT. Those very first giant tube-driven machines are still doing nothing, but they're there, they exist, they're on. Why does this system have to be rebooted all the time? Why does this system have to be reconfigured? Why does this system have to be updated all the time? As far as I'm concerned, that's fraud. You sold me something that didn't work. You sold me something that needed to be fixed. You sold me something that didn't work out of the box and it's not compatible with anything, this version versus that version. We had to check the 32 versions of the Apple OS, which we also had to update. So you had 10 updates in the studio just to make it work, and it's still glitching. The studio still glitches, and it's horrible to see that I finally figured out what it was to make it record, and to make it stop glitching. And in order to do that, you have to remove components from the chain. Now, is that really logical? Is that really something that we want to base the future of music on? How many technicians do you need to keep your studio up and running? That's the question. If you have a Sound Pressure Labs studio, you only need yourself. It's really that easy. Sound Pressure Labs technology, Sound Pressure Labs, Sound Pressure Labs, Sound Pressure Labs. Let's make surround sound music simple. And the reason why it's failed in the history so many times before is simply because it's too complicated, it's obese, it's overdriven. You're running a money game behind the scheme with all of your updates and your licensing. So I can make superior surround sound music in real time with Sound Pressure Labs. What's the question? Why haven't you called me? Are we wondering still? I'm not. Whoa.